Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Place in the Middle podcast. My name is Amy.
I'm Butter, and we're gonna talk about just what's like to be us in Thailand
Yeah,
and what's like to be a Christian and like living in an international environment.
right. Yeah,
Yeah. And so today we're just gonna get started by sharing about how we met.
that's
Right.
a fun story.
That's an interesting story, is what it is. Let's get comfortable. It's gonna be a long one. Okay, you go first. How, like, your side?
Yeah, but before we start, we don't know where to clip our mic. Oh, whoops! I just moved it. So,
This is the
so I
best
told-
mic
yeah,
stand ever.
if you're an Asian, you would know what that one is for.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have to explain it, but
that came with it. Wait, it came together. Yeah, it's like a soup. ladle.
dang girl, you have a fancy rice cooker. Okay.
Yeah, haven't used it yet. Just have it.
Wait,
Just
does it
have
sing to you as well? You know when you press start?
I haven't used it yet. I have no
Dang.
idea.
Girl, if they sing,
Go start it right now.
wait, okay, so let's tell like how we met, right?
Yeah.
All right.
To be honest, I don't remember what happened. Just like one day you were there, one day you weren't. One day you weren't
Right,
there,
right,
and then
right.
one day you just showed up, and
Uh-huh.
it was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But I don't remember how we like didn't get along in the first place.
Oh, I remember Butter.
You remember?
Yeah.
Okay, you tell me.
Okay,
'cause I
so
don't know.
basically I started my school in like a traditional Thai school.
Yeah.
I was in a Thai private school, and in one grade there's like 12 classes, and each class has
Oh.
like 60 people. So like for
Mm.
each like for example, like grade 5, there's like 300 something. So I have a lot of friends, but like at the same time, I'm not a type of person that have like 1,000 friends, but I have like small group of friends.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, so in grade 6, I remember being in the Thai school I was in, and one day my mom picked me up and she asked me, "Hey, what do you think about moving to like an international school?" And at that point, I was very excited because I knew that like Thai system didn't aid my learning. It was I had a really tough time in school,
Mm-mm.
and then I'm like, heck yes, like I want to move.
Yeah.
So by the grace of God, I don't know like how my brother and I got in. We did not even like, because usually like if Thai students go into international school, they would lower a grade. I don't know if you know this.
Oh, so that it's like
Kind of like
you're not to the same level like in English as
exactly.
the one
yeah,
you should be
like
in.
ปรับพื้นฐาน right like building
ล
a
ง
new-
ไป one.
ใช่ใช่
Oh.
And what is it called? So basically one day my mom just took me to the school that we were at, and we had like an interview, like a test, like an entrance test with the principal, and nobody was there. I think it was a Saturday too. It was so weird.
Oh,
It was
special case.
I think so. Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I knew that like my dad's friend kind of like helped a little bit, arrange a little bit
the meaning.
to it. Yeah, but I went in. I knew I didn't do well in like tests and
Testing at
stuff.
all.
I mean, I couldn't like answer every single thing. There's like a reading, there's a writing, and
Yeah.
there's like a conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and when I was in a Thai school, I was in a, so basically like kids that are better in one subject, they put into like this kind of like a club or like a program where it's like a gifted program.
Okay.
So I was already in the gifted English club,
Okay.
which we did nothing except like play crosswords and like watch a movie or something like that.
Oh,
But I was pretty good at English before I came to an international school in a Thai standard.
okay.
But yeah, anyways, so we had that interview, we had that entrance exam. For some reason I got in, and I waited like 3 days, and I moved.
That fast?
Yeah, it was really fast. Everything
Did you come in the
happened
middle
so
of the
fast.
year or what?
So in the middle of the year for a Thai educational system, but international schools just
It was
started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
okay, that makes
I'm
sense.
pretty sure it was like the mid of August.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks into grade 6.
That you joined, so you didn't join the first
Yeah,
day of school.
we didn't join the first day of school. So I think
okay.
like honestly, looking back, that kind of took a toll on me a little bit because like
you came in later.
yeah,
Yeah.
like everybody already knew each other,
Yeah.
and we came into a small class. We have only 6A and 6B.
Oh yeah.
Remember
yeah,
that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you in 6A?
I was in Yeah, I think so. I was in Miss France class.
Same. Me
Oh,
too. Yeah.
you were too?
Yeah.
Were we in 6A or 6B?
I was in 6A. I remember that. And Erica was in 6B.
So I'm in 6A. Because
Yeah,
we're in
'cause-
Miss France class.
Yeah. I love her though. She was very sweet.
Yeah, she was.
And anyways, so in our class, both 6A and 6B, there are only like what 5 Thai students.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a really small class. I was thinking about that. From like 300 something, I came into like a 40, 50
Yeah.
students in the whole class.
Yeah.
Which was great for me because I'm like
You know everybody.
I knew everybody. I need like teachers' attention.
Yes.
As in not like I'm not like a teacher's pet, but I have ADHD. So, you know, I need a little bit of help.
Yeah. I mean, and I like that too. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's just more of like, instead of you're just one in like 100, it's more of like they know you by name and they like care for you.
100%. Yeah. And so basically how Butter and I met was that we went into a Thai classroom and
I don't
naturally
even remember this.
yeah, I remember you walk past the principal's office.
Okay.
Remember that whole
Yes,
office? Because your
yes.
mom worked there.
Night Kru Ying was our teacher that year.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we went into that. I still
Uh-huh.
remember that because it
Yeah.
was like Sapanam. I was like, oh my word, this is the worst year ever. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
this is so hard.
Yeah. So basically that was Butter's experience of like the Thai class. But for me, because I came from a Thai school, it was very easy for me.
Oh, yes.
You know where this is going, right?
Okay.
So naturally, like Thai class, I just breezed through. I'm like, I already went through this, I already
Yeah.
did this. Like by that time, I already knew how to write an essay. Like I had a whole presentation.
Right.
You know, I
right,
was at a higher level for grade 6 students in an international school.
Right.
So I think that's where we start to not get along.
Really?
Yeah, because I know
Oh.
you're like naturally you're very competitive,
Uh-huh.
especially to yourself.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like as kids, when we look back, we didn't know how to process that. Where like we knew that we have to like be better,
Yeah.
but I feel like sometimes comparison comes in a lot,
Yeah.
competition comes in a lot, and I know we didn't get along during that time. I don't know exact moment,
Uh-huh.
but I knew we were like
We just didn't get along.
we just didn't get along.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
why, but I just remember you because your voice was so loud.
Right.
and
I was a
squeaky.
loud kid. Yeah.
And so then I just remember, like, maybe not 6th grade, because 6th grade to me, oh my gosh, all I remember is like noun, verbs, and I was trying to learn like nam, sapanam, whatever in Thai
I
class.
don't even remember what we learned in Thai
And
class.
I was like, I don't even know what that means. I barely know what it means in English, so I don't know what it is in Thai. But I was
Right.
like, okay, this is
right.
way over my head. But
Mhm.
then I would remember like you in like later, where it would like, you know, like in maybe middle school or high school,
Right.
and where it was just like we'd play a game in Thai class.
Uh-huh.
Because I mean, Amy and I are always in Thai class together.
Because we're in the same grade.
We're in the same grade.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like there'll be other, like when in middle school or high school, there'll be like 7th and 8th grade are together. And then like high
Right,
school,
right.
they're like
Yeah.
grouped together. And so you and I would be together. Because in our class, we only had like 5 or 6 Thai students, even in high school.
And until we graduated.
Right? There was
were
only like a few.
6.
Mm-mm.
Max.
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
But I just remember like we'd play a game. In
I
Quran's
remember
class.
this.
I
Yes.
was pissed at you. I was pissed at the teacher. I was like, we had to play a game, and then they're like, okay, if you know the answer, raise your hand.
Right.
And then it was so competitive. I mean, Amy, you were kind of competitive too. It was just
I
like,
was competitive too.
yeah,
Yeah.
you were also competitive. I was also competitive, and I sucked at Thai, so I'm like, I'm gonna get all my points and stuff like that. But since her voice is so loud, it was like she raised her hand and then she like scream, and the teacher would be like,
I remember exactly that
like
moment.
that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and then the teacher would be like, Amy, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck? I had my hand up the whole time.
I remember that
You know?
day. That was so funny.
But at that time we were already friends, so I wasn't really like angry
Right.
at you, but it
Uh-huh.
was just like, teacher.
I don't know if you remember this, but that was like the first day we did that game.
Oh, was it?
And then after that, I think we teamed up.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was good.
Oh, yeah. If we were together, double team, everybody else would
Exactly.
be like, what even?
Right,
you know, like,
uh-huh.
especially if we were with the younger grade, they were like quiet, but like got it together. And we were like,
Yeah. I don't think they cared. We loved it.
I know. Think hard, quickly, Corinne. so competitive
It
over
was
the
so funny.
smallest things.
Exactly.
Which I realized later, like I had a conversation with some of the Thai teachers, and they were like, your class was like one of the most like energized and like competitive,
Right.
almost like maybe like an effort to be there, like actually want
Oh,
like being there.
100%. I remember like loving Thai class because like as it's called national Thai, like we're naturally
National
Thai.
yes,
So by the educational like
system.
government
Yep.
thingy, like we have to take Thai class every single day. Which,
Right.
honestly, I looked back, people like friends are great
Yeah.
in other school.
Yeah.
They didn't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they didn't have Thai class every single day.
That I was told like we had to have Thai class.
That's what I thought. And I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything about other school, but it's just different system, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how that works.
I mean, we had to do it 50 minutes per day. That was
exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember like starting Thai class every single day.
No.
And I thought that was so fun. And we didn't just get to learn like history and like language and stuff, but
yeah,
we did cooking too.
we did. We made
That
kai
was
jiao,
really-
but the purpose of that kai jiao was khao niao.
Amen.
We had to learn to make khao niao, but we
It was
focused on
so
kai jiao.
good.
Think about it.
That khao niao, I remember that khao niao that Hu Sampong did.
Yes.
It was so good. She like soaked her own rice
Yes.
like from the beginning.
And she was like, นักเรียนคะ this is not a kai jiao making like lesson. This is
It's
focused
khao niao.
on khao niao. We're like, we get it. Don't worry, we got the khao niao.
And I remember one of our friends never had khao niao kai jiao in her life.
Oh, really?
I'm like, where have you been? You're
Yeah.
Thai.
Yeah.
Like that was like my Saturday morning staple at my house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine is more okay. I would say like sometimes it's kai jiao, but more like maybe khao niao mu ping is like
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
Like that's my style.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't really know how we started becoming friends. I think it just happened. But actually, I don't know when we, like, I mean, how I met you, but I don't know when we became friends. Like, before that, we didn't get along, so we didn't really
right.
talk.
Yeah.
But then suddenly, I don't know what happened.
I remember this one moment where after Thai class, because we had to walk to classes, right?
When was this? 6th grade?
No, it was in middle school.
Oh,
Or
really?
like even high school. I don't remember what it was, but you know how like our Thai class was in like at the end of the other like the building?
Yeah.
Remember that?
This is
Or high
Middle
school,
school.
middle
Oh,
school.
yes,
high
yes,
school.
yes, yes, yes.
You know, at
yes,
that
yes,
side?
yes.
So we have to walk all the way to the other side for this other classes. And I remember having a conversation with you about your inhaler.
Random.
Randomly.
And interesting.
Because I remember your walk, you would do one puff because you gotta, like, you gotta stay alive.
I got it. I need to get some air.
Exactly. So I think I was curious. I didn't know what that was.
Oh, really?
I remember that moment exactly. So I think like that's like when our friendship kind of like strengthened a little bit,
Okay.
where we had that walk, like because we
We have to walk every day.
yeah, I'm not gonna like take a longer route just to avoid people. Like I'm
Right.
not that type of person.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, because I'm like I gotta get there.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah, and that time the bell was like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I think now it's like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. They have time
That-
to walk.
Yeah, they have
But I mean,
time
the
to
building
walk.
now is bigger. I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, mostly they stay in one building, but if they were at like
okay.
maybe the PE court or whatever,
Right.
music room or whatever, I think it might be a little bit further out.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I did not remember that.
It's so funny. I remember like random stuff.
Wow, I
In
didn't.
school.
I forgot. That I have an inhaler at that time, and it was
I thought
like
it was so cool. I'm like, dang, this girl got a gadget. Like,
I had to take some puffs. I need some air. I was like, okay, I'm
gotta
not
stay
feeling
alive,
it.
girl.
Yeah. I think it was Queen's class when she taught us when we were in like middle school or high school.
yeah.
And she would be like, okay, we do not insult other people. ไม่ด่ากัน ห้ามพูดไม่ดีเกี่ยวกับกัน And you
Right.
and I would just like go for it. And the thing is, when we go for it, it's actually very PG rated for like ด่ากัน in like,
Right.
we did not say any cuss words.
No.
Anything like that, but we just like express like, if I was partnered with somebody I didn't want to be partnered with, I'd be like, like,
we were not embarrassed. Like we would say, we were a fun class.
we were a fun class.
But if you look from like a teacher's perspective,
we were insulting each other like nonstop, like negative. But that was like, that's bonding.
amen. We
Yeah.
trash talk to bond.
That was bonding time for us. Every time,
I never thought about that. That's so funny.
you would never insult someone you don't really know,
True.
right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, I don't really know you. I'm not really sure where you
Right.
stand. But with these people, we went all out. Like, all out. If they said something that was like, excuse me? Like, if you were...
And when they talk back,
We
Bonding
were
time.
we were on it. And then Queen would be like, from now on, we're doing 3 points and you're out. If you say something negative,
Right.
your name is on the board. And I kid you not, for 6 months,
Right. Our names
on our name
permanent.
consistently
Permanent.
every day. And they're like, do you not want a class party? And I'm like, we would love a class party, but we can't help but our names keep going up there. Like, if we're loud, 1. If we're like,
I remember.
I don't want to
that
be with
part.
you, 1 up.
I don't remember the name.
You don't remember?
No.
Oh my gosh, it was 3 strikes and you're out. So like 3 strikes and you'll be sent to the principal's office. We're on there consistently. It was like I wasn't even offended anymore. It would be like, Nơi. That day. Had to
Yellow
have
card.
1. Yeah, had to have 1. I was like, that
Exactly.
wouldn't be me if it's not up there.
Exactly.
And then
It's
it's
another
like,
great day.
yeah. And then you would be like, you'd be loud or something like, and Koon would be like, Amy. And it'd be like, we wouldn't say any bad words at all. We would be like, what in the Amy?
Exactly.
Or like,
we stopped there.
ครูคะทำไม butter เนย
แค่เสียงดังก็โดน
just
แล้วอะ
yes and literally and one time I kid you not I was partnered with somebody I didn't want to be with and I was like oh ดีจังเลย but it was like sarcastic I was like ประชด
Right,
อยู่
right.
ผู้หญิงเนย
Nơi.
I was like what did I do I literally said ดีจังเลย she's like it's your heart that counts what's inside I was like
They were good teachers though. I'm
they
not gonna
were
lie.
really good
They
teachers
were really patient with us.
I mean, they were awesome, but we were like on
We were
another level.
I was gonna say that. Mhm.
We were nuts. Let's just say we were unhelpful in some cases. We could have kept our mouth shut when some of the people
Right.
were like speaking,
Right.
you know, some interesting things. We could have stayed silent.
Right.
But you know, we were kids. I mean, we
Yeah.
were young, and so there was no way we could just be like, sure. If you think about it, if we talked and they talked, there would be no class time. Like there would be too much talking. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Yeah.
already talk way too much. Like our class, they had to shush us like so many times. Like
No.
shut us down. Teachers
Yeah.
had to like adjust to us in Thai class. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Only our class.
only our class. Because in the beginning, I remember Kru Sampong came in with like, and then she gave us the rules for the year.
I don't remember that.
And we had to go through it, and it was like 3 pages. I was like,
oh my gosh.
and then at the end, she was like, I was a little hard on you guys, right? And I was like, maybe just a little bit. But then,
Right.
like, they had to adjust to like how we operate. Like, we
Right.
were not like Thai students.
Right.
And so we weren't gonna be like, เรียบร้อย, like, you know, stuff like
Right,
that.
right,
And
right,
we were
yeah.
all like, like, you know, speaking on top of each other too. That was just like so normal.
It was so loud. We had 2 bells. Remember that?
Yeah.
The first bell, you have to get there to the class. The second bell, the class starts.
Yes.
In between those times,
Oh yeah.
golden time.
Yes.
We just yap and yap
Yep.
and yap. It was
Yes.
loud.
We were loud. Maybe that's why we get along. I don't know. We talk a
I
lot.
think so.
But I will say, we sat in the front of the class.
We were good students though.
We were good.
yeah,
students. We
I
worked
paid
hard.
attention in class.
I did too. But we just like talk more than we probably should.
Yeah.
In some cases.
You
It
know
was
what?
fun, you know.
Pathway of learnings. Just pathway of learning.
I know. Well, we sat in the front of the class. I mean, that should say something. Like we were like
Yeah.
attentive,
Yeah.
participative, a lot of stuff.
It was a good class.
Honestly, Thai class, I look back on it and I'm like, that was fun.
It was really fun. I
it was
loved it.
hard, but it was
Yeah.
fun for me.
I remember when for like 3 years straight, I think it started with Hu Pong where she did like the whole Thai history. Remember that? All like the
Was this
kings
the
and everything?
one
Yes, that was in between.
in that class?
Yes.
I like that class.
Yeah. Because I remember I'm like, oh, nobody ever put like history for me like chronologically. I just know parts of it and
Yeah.
like to put everything together. And she
Yeah.
put literature, Si Pandin, into the part that we were learning about
Yeah.
during that time.
Ah,
And I
okay.
was like, that is so smart.
I remember having to memorize like the king's like names.
Oh yes, I
And
remember
then
that.
Si
Yeah.
Pandin was part of it, and I really love Si Pandin. I mean, I went to watch like Si Pandin the musical twice
Oh okay.
in Bangkok.
Oh whoa.
It was so good. It was so good. I was like,
I
"Ooh,
love that
this."
book too.
I loved I loved it, and I loved that we processed it because I read so slow in Thai
Yes.
that I would just be like, I want to know so much about this,
Mhm.
but like because of how slow I read, it's very hard for me to like figure out what's happening.
Right.
fast. And so like to process it in class and like
Uh-huh.
read like a chapter, I think we read together.
We were together in class, like a chapter or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think I was able to like follow along at like a pace that I was like okay with.
Yeah.
And then, but I really liked that. I think it was like seeing history come to more like tangible things.
Right.
Like I could see it and be like,
You feel more
oh.
connected.
Yes,
To, like,
yes.
your Thai-ness, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, you know, it's like 1,000 years ago, I guess, but like
Mhm.
to know it and
Mhm.
like to know where, remember this one word like like in Si Pandin, civilized. Civilized?
Yeah.
I was like, that's so cool. Like how our language came to be and like
Yeah.
the influences that
Yeah.
we get. Yeah.
And now look at us using Thai and English.
Yes.
So
Never colonized, but here we are.
yeah. Oh, us. We
Yeah.
probably learn, Thai and
Right.
English. These days people are like learning 3 languages and that's like
Yeah.
minimum.
Minimum, yeah. Knowing 2 languages is not
It's like
enough anymore.
normal.
Do you know a third language?
I know like half a Korean.
What does it mean?
Half a Korean. Like the other day I was talking to like when I was in Korea, I was with like our friend and she has a son
Right.
and I was able to communicate with him a little bit.
Oh.
I was very proud he understood what I said.
Right.
But mostly I can't really talk, but I can understand.
that's how it starts though with languages.
Right. But
Yeah.
then and I could read a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
But not really speak that much, but I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
If it's not too complicated.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not a
Yeah.
lot of like practice
Yeah.
here.
If you can choose one language that you can learn like overnight, what would it be?
Chinese.
Girl, same.
Right? Like I
Yeah.
feel like Chinese, Thai, and English and I'd be good. I'd be good
Yeah.
with like
In a long run,
most
yeah,
of the
yeah,
world.
yeah.
Most of the world now. I'd be covered.
Because I mean, if you guys don't know this, we're both like half Chinese, half Thai. As in, I don't know about
Chinese
yours.
blood?
Yeah. So ethically, my dad is like 100% Chinese, but he was born in Thailand, so he's Thai Chinese.
Yes, I understand.
And my mom's Thai.
Okay.
They got married, but my dad never really taught us Chinese. At that time,
yeah.
he didn't really see the importance in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know like the few generations before that, Chinese were really looked down upon in Thailand.
Yeah.
So I guess that's why my dad was like, "Oh, it's not that important. It's fine. Like knowing Thai is enough."
I don't know about my parent. My dad also didn't teach us Chinese, but he
Yeah.
knows some. And I'm thinking like, I think they put more importance toward English at that time because that was more important.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And so it was like Thai and English and not
Mhm.
necessarily like
Yeah.
Chinese. Now I want to
Yeah.
learn it, but
yeah.
Uh,
Will you?
I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
I don't know. Give me the money to learn.
I should, but I'm like,
Yeah, I'm like, so yeah. I think that
Yeah.
would be the third language I would want to know.
me too. I think
It
would
seems
be
to
so
cover most of
helpful.
the world.
Exactly.
Business, everything is just
Oh,
like
100%.
English and
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yeah.
But since we live in Thailand, Thai obviously.
Right.
But like aside from Thailand, it's hard to speak in like nowhere else in the world uses Thai. Unless you're in
True.
Thailand.
Yes.
But English is universal.
Mm-hmm.
Should be. But like in some countries, even English is like hard for people to understand.
Right.
But then in Chinese, I feel like it covers a lot of places.
Exactly.
Even Thai people learn, like shopkeepers learn Chinese to communicate with the Chinese
Tourists.
travel tourists. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be nice to learn.
Yeah.
But if it was like one that I could just like one like a pleasure language, like one that like I just want to know,
Yeah.
probably like French.
Girl, same. That's crazy. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. We have so many similar things that we just are figuring out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just feel like the language is so pretty, like the way they talk.
beautiful.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if I could just pick it up. But I remember one time somebody was trying to teach me like just one word in French. Got messed it up. Completely did not get it right. Like, and then tried like 10 different times, and they're like, good enough.
I know that like French language have like gender.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, like Cher is probably like a woman or something like that. It's like
Oh.
feminine. I don't know that
Oh.
whole I don't understand it.
Okay.
But-
I don't know anything about it, but I just feel like when I hear it, I'm like, wow, pretty.
Yeah.
Like, that's a beautiful language.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
And I feel like it covers a lot too. Either French or German, but I don't think
Oh,
I'll
I was thinking
understand
German too.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'd like to learn maybe German
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
like not French. That's interesting.
Well, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get through Thai Chinese first. I mean, Thai and English first. My thing is, my Thai,
Mm-hmm.
girl, the other day somebody like insulted me and was like, I thought like they were like, how many languages do you know? And these are like friends. And it was like, I was like, two, Thai and English. And then like, are you sure you know Thai? I was like, you want to fight with me right now?
Oh my god.
Because it was just like, because we're like friends, it's like, are you sure?
Right.
But like a lot of Thai words, sometimes I don't know.
There's a lot.
There is a lot. And there's like some specific words for specific situations, which is like in any language. But like, because I feel like I'm limited in like the vocab area.
Yeah.
Sometimes like the Thai that comes out is like, I know what you mean, but
You're not putting it right.
that's not
Yeah.
that's not how people usually talk.
Because I mean, if you think about it, for example, I don't know what it is like sapanam.
Sapanam.
Well, I don't know what that is. But
Okay.
like เก้าอี้หนึ่งตัว
Yes.
Like
yes.
the ending.
ตัว
Every single thing is different.
Yes.
So I think that's very hard, and you have to like learn.
Yeah. Do you know umbrella?
คันเหรอ
ใช่ปะ
ร่มหนึ่ง
ล่
คั
ม
น
คัน Yeah, it's like คัน How am I supposed to know this? But like you learn to memorize these things, but it's just like so different for so many. Like in English is like one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's a chair, it's one chair.
Yeah, one chair. It's
One pillow.
the very
Yeah, two pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so just
It's
whatever
different
you
in Thai.
memorize. Yeah,
It's different in Thai. Yeah. And one thing that I learned, so when I was in college, I studied language.
Mhm.
And a lot of people ask me, why are you studying English? You already know English. I'm like,
Oh.
girl, there's so many, more
Other things.
complicated things
Yeah.
behind that. But I did linguistics, and I found out that, what is it called? Thai, we don't have transitive verbs, which means that we don't have the past tense. We just have indication words like ไปที่นี่แล้ว
Okay.
We don't
okay,
have
I
the
see that.
was, were,
Yes.
and I was
No,
like,
what I think that's why Thai people have a hard time with like I did, I do, I don't. Like
right,
those things.
yeah,
And so they just think one for all.
because we don't have it.
Right.
But yeah, we just have indication words. Like if you say this word, it already happened.
Okay. Wow, I'm glad you said that. Because I think a lot of Thai people were like, like,
Yeah.
why do they wouldn't know which one to use unless
Right.
you like learn it.
Exactly. It's very specific too. And Thai people, I think it's like they just รวบทุกอย่าง There's no such thing as ทำแบบ was, it already happened. It doesn't happen. It's not like that. It's just indication words.
That's so interesting. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that blew my mind when I learned it. I'm like, wow.
I mean, that's good to know because like a lot of things like I'm learning about like Thai language now. It's things you cannot learn in the classroom.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just like you have to experience it and then you realize what's happening. And stuff like that. Like most recent, the topic came up because I use ไม่ทราบว่า because it's like excuse me.
Okay.
Right? In a way, right? It's like getting your attention first.
Yeah.
Before I say what I need to say.
Okay, wait, well, give me the situation. Like, give me this whole story.
Oh, okay.
We don't know how to put in the thing, but
Every time I talk to like an employee or a staff of some sort where I need their assistance,
right.
phone or whatever, I always start with ไม่ทราบว่า
Oh,
because it's like, can I inquire? Like, can I inquire your assistance?
Right.
And so then in Thai, they're like ไม่ทราบว่า like when they hear me and like friends hear me, I'm like, why are you so formal? And I'm like, what else am I supposed to use? And they're like, just say what you want. And I'm like, without any like, excuse me or like, hello, or something like that. They're like, just say like, I don't even like my brain just goes to ไม่ทราบว่า first,
right,
as a default,
before
I say what I need to say. But they're like, just say what you want. Just be like, me, like if I'm going to get a drink, and I'm like, ยังมีน้ำช็อกโกแลตอยู่หรือเปล่าคะ Just say ยังมีอยู่ไหม น้องยังมีอยู่ไหม or whatever. I go
ไม่ทราบ
ไม่ทราบว่า น้ำช็อกโกแลตยังมีอยู่ไหมคะ And they're like ไม่ทราบว่าเลยเหรอ And I'm like,
yeah, because I feel like that you would use in like a very, very formal situation,
right,
or in an email,
right, and I don't do either,
right,
and I'm just talking to like smoothie guy ไม่ทราบว่าวันนี้มีบลูเบอร์รี่หรือเปล่าคะ
yeah,
stuff like
I would
that.
say honestly, I would say like excuse me in Thai. I feel like this reflects our culture as well.
Okay,
we say ขอโทษนะคะ โทษนะคะ we're kind of like, hey, sorry,
apologize
like,
first.
am I like taking your time?
Ah.
Or if I already got their attention, if you know I'm walked in and they
Yeah.
already looked at me, I would just say, "มีอันนี้ไหมคะ?"
See, I don't know how to do that. I'm just like,
We'll practice after this because we're going to lunch after.
Okay, but I don't do it all the time. I was like, ไม่ทราบว่ามี
Right,
ขาหมู I'm seeing ขาหมู right here in front of me.
Right,
You
right,
have it.
right.
So I'll be like, เอาข้าวขาหมู1 จาน or whatever. But like most cases where I'm like panicking inside because I'm like preparing, right? We're
Do you
always
go through
stressing-
conversations before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's in Thai.
Mhm.
I know what I want in English, especially on the phone is the worst. Because I'm like, most recent, I want to know about water purifiers, like drinking
Right.
water purifier. And I'm like preparing myself, like, these are the questions I want to ask. And I want to ask, like, how many filters you have in this water purifier and how often do I need to change it and how much does it cost? And to me, in English, it's so easy. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Right.
In time, like, okay. Like, I need to prepare myself.
Right.
And then when they like pick up, I like blank.
Panics.
And so that I'm like,
ไม่ทราบ
ไม่ทราบว่า comes first. And I'm like, ไม่ทราบว่า
Yeah.
คือว่า and it's just like filler words. I'm just
right.
like พอดีว่าtoo พอดีว่า is also the next one that comes. It's like ไม่ทราบว่า and because I can't think what's next, then I go พอดีว่า and then it's like คือว่าอย่างนี้ I went through 3 different conversations and
Oh
the
my
lady
gosh.
goes like ตกลงว่า จะถามเกี่ยวกับเครื่องกรองน้ำว่าเท่าไหร่คะใช่ค่ะ I'm like
It takes a while, right?
yo
It's
whatever. But the thing is, because people have said like, why don't you just use the English call center? Because you know there's like กด2 for English
Ooh,
call center.
this is interesting,
right.
Yeah.
And so they're like, why don't you just use the English call center? And I'm like, here's the deal. I do sometimes if the Thai takes too long because usually everybody calls in Thai,
Right.
but the English picks up in like 5 seconds.
Right, because
'Cause
nobody's calling.
calling. But then what ends up happening with me usually, not in person too, is whenever it's default to English, a Thai person speaking in English, I don't understand. So
What a
it's
struggle.
not, I'm like, sorry?
You're
What?
still stuck in the same
Yeah, I'm
conversation.
still stuck in the same
Right.
conversation. I'm like, and at this point, I'm like, I can't switch back to Thai because like I
Right.
clicked on English
And they'll know.
and they'll know that I'm like, lakaya, you know, like I cheated the system, you know, like I went for the easy route and chose
That's so
English.
funny. if you
And
think
so
about
I'd be
it.
like, you did not answer my question. I'd be like, so the water filter. I'll be like, so like, how often do you have to change it? And if they were like, oh, you have to change it, that I'll be like, that's not what I asked.
Right,
But it was
right,
just like,
how often? Yeah.
like how many times? Then I start going through different English words. But in English, I have more vocabulary to go through
Right.
of how to say the same thing 10 times.
So you would be more comfortable.
I would be more comfortable.
Yeah.
But what's horrible is I always try to stick to Thai because at least their Thai is their best. Like if I go to the
Right.
bank and I know like
Right.
this cannot have a misunderstanding, it's a very important
Right.
topic and that I'm asking. So like I much rather speak in bad Thai to them and have them speak in confident Thai back to me because you have to
Right.
explain to me something I don't understand. So if it takes 5 minutes for you to understand what I'm asking, it's better
Right.
than for me to listen to your English and be like, I'm not really sure what you just said, and have you repeat it like 10 different times.
Right. You understand Thai a lot more than you can communicate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'd much rather you speak in Thai to me than to speak in English and for me to figure out what it means. And sometimes I'm sorry, but like with your people's mask on sometimes, and then
That's rough.
and then the filter, I can't do lip reading. I
Yeah.
do lip reading
A lot. Right.
more than I thought.
Uh-huh.
But especially during COVID, where everybody's mouth was
It's
covered,
rough. It was rough.
and there was a screen, and their voice was so soft. I was like,
And we were loud people.
I was like,
maybe
I was like, I thought my ears had issues.
maybe that's why we were loud. We have issues with our ears.
Yeah, I was like, ขอโทษนะคะอะไรนะคะ you know, like literally, I was like, I'm deaf.
That's
like
so funny.
I have here, like you're so soft that I'm just like, I don't even know what you're saying. Like I literally would have to put my head towards the thing and be like, again, please,
against the screen.
yes, again. Please,
I need a vibration.
I
of
need
your,
I
your
need more.
sound.
Yes. Because I'm like, or pull your mask down so I could do a lip reading.
Right.
Because naturally I think Thai people have really soft voices, like kind, like
Right. Very like
Gentle.
gentle.
I just think like that's traditional how it's supposed to be. But when I tried that one time, I can't hear myself. You know what I'm saying? And like I couldn't keep it soft.
Wait, that's so
You know what I'm
funny.
saying? Because it's just like I can't keep it soft either.
It's
It's just like
getting
my
louder and
softness.
louder.
It's just
Yeah.
like, how do we do this?
Why
Like,
are we whispering?
yeah, why is this soft? And I'm like, and then when I'm soft, I'm like, can you hear me? Like, can you hear me? Because I can barely hear myself talk in the phone. And then it's like I don't even know how to whisper.
No.
It takes talent to speak that softly and like
And
communicate well
Yeah.
on the phone.
Yeah. Have you been to Japan? Okay,
Yes.
you know they're like a subway and like their train.
Yes.
Quiet.
Silence.
Silence. I totally get it. That's a sign of respect.
Yes. Manners.
Yeah. So I would take my phone call outside. Like for me. Yeah.
I went to get my ears checked
Oh.
for like sound. For like sound.
Uh-huh.
Has my hearing gone bad? Has my hearing gone? Because like
Yeah.
I can't hear some of these sounds, and they're like, your hearing is actually really good, like above normal in like one ear.
Okay, there we go. Wait, tell us a little bit of a story of like why, because you're Thai,
Yep.
you grew up in Thailand,
Right.
but you never had like you all, your whole life you went to an international school.
Right.
So naturally, like when you're developing, like your
Yeah.
essential year that you develop,
Yeah.
I think it's mostly just English,
Right.
right?
I mean, I didn't fully like I went to a Thai school when I was like in kindergarten, first grade, and
that doesn't count.
and that was when I was in Bangkok,
Oh yeah.
and that was rough. Like I had a rough time in a Thai
What's
school.
your first language?
Thai?
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I couldn't speak English till I was 7, like 6 or 7.
So weird to
Like
think
once
about.
I came here, couldn't get it, and then one day it just like clicked. Like I could suddenly understand English when people were
Interesting,
speaking. Like I remember my uncle was like, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" Because he was speaking English with his daughter.
Right.
He's like, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And I like was like, "Yeah." I was like, "What did I say?" And I was like, "You asked her if it was like delicious," and he was like, "Yeah, you're right." And I'm like,
Wow.
it just like picked up.
Yeah.
But then since then, going to an international school, you're like in an international bubble.
Right.
You don't get to experience Thai culture like
Yeah.
at all. Like really, I mean like a little bit, like, but like very basic, minimal ones, right? Because we're mixed with other culture, and you don't even get one dominant culture. Really, it's like a mixed pot of cultures.
Right.
So then, like sometimes I would know, like okay, if like a Thai person passed by, I would know what to do with my hands, but like, and then the next moment we would shake someone's hands or give a hug,
Right.
and that would be appropriate. Like we
Yeah.
just knew like how, like you would know, like we would know how to adjust accordingly to people. And we wouldn't be like fully American, because we would sometimes American jokes don't make sense to us, but we wouldn't be fully Thai because like we're not in it so much where we like following the trend of like
Right.
what's
new?
the big deal right
Yeah.
now, like what's
Yeah.
the new words right now to use.
Uh-huh.
But like in English we know like enough more to where we can know some like words. But even at that time we didn't watch TV show, like I didn't watch TV shows
I
really.
didn't even have a TV at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
just stopped watching TV
Oh,
when
really?
I started international school. I don't know why. I don't know
that's
how
interesting.
that happened.
I just watched like DVDs at that time, right? Like
Right,
movies,
right,
like
right.
something like that. And it was just, I don't know. I don't think we fully learned any of the cultures, because like even we weren't in America, we were here.
Right.
So like
Most of our friends are American though.
yeah, they are from
Hence the accent.
yeah, the accent, and then the time spent in an international school,
Right.
because they wouldn't let us speak in Thai outside of Thai class.
We can get into that
Yes.
because we get in trouble.
We would get in trouble if we spoke a different language that was not English, because then it was like more of like, I think also like inclusivity thing,
Yeah.
right? Where like if you started speaking Thai, well, your Korean friends wouldn't know what you were saying,
Right.
or your American friends wouldn't know.
I know this, like the heartbeat behind that.
Yeah.
It's definitely like, because I know some school here where it's international school but it's all Thai students and they're just speaking in Thai.
Exactly, and
So
then you
what's
don't
the
get
point
it.
of
Yeah,
going international school. Yeah.
and you wouldn't know that language. Like, I mean, no offense to like other places,
Right,
because
right.
we don't
Yeah.
know, but like I would go to like basketball tournaments and then meet other international school, and I would like overhear like a passing by like conversation. It's like all in Thai,
Mhm.
or like their English, they would speak in English, but it's like English mixed with Thai in like a
Right.
Thai accent.
Mhm.
And I thought like the purpose, like your parents sent you to international school, is so that you would learn English with an English accent, right? If you came out
Right.
speaking English Thai,
Right. You're not fully learning.
you wouldn't be able to communicate like that if you worked abroad.
That's true.
You would be missing out on chances,
true.
opportunities that like,
Mhm.
didn't you go to an international school? Shouldn't your English be more developed than, you know, like more advanced than this?
Yeah.
And I think like that's the point of going to an international school for like Thai students,
Mhm.
is their parents want them. I mean, it could be for different reasons too, like community and stuff. But like part of the reason is that your English would
Language.
be language that would be developed to where you could do something with it when you graduate,
Right.
and you wouldn't just know like Thai with some English. That's like
Yeah.
where people like question, why is your English like that?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Instead, but even then, it's like I just grew up like just so international, like community. I just realized last couple years that I mean, I knew we were in an international bubble, but just in the last couple years, I realized how much I didn't know about like Thai culture.
Yeah.
That was more
It
like
was-
under the surface.
Yeah. We honestly like I think one of the downside is that people that are in an international school were very close off. If the community is very tight knit,
Yeah.
we're very close off. But like, I have a different story than you
Mhm.
because I did ballet. Like,
You had another community.
yeah, I had a whole another community.
Mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't know what's new in you know, in the media and like the pop culture. I wouldn't know that. I still don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't
yeah.
know a lot of celebrities.
Me too. Some people are like, can you read Thai? I was like offended. I was like, I was taught how to read Thai, and they're like, oh, she's got. I'm like, don't.
Right.
You know. You know, like stuff like
Yeah.
that. But like in other ways, it would be like, do you know Lan Ma the movie? And I'm like, who's Lan Ma? You know, or like
Right.
then they're like, no, it's a movie, and I'm like,
Right.
how are they? You know, I couldn't like. There's some things that's just like unexpected.
Right.
But a lot of people think like I don't know how to read Thai,
Uh-huh.
or some people are like, do you understand what that means? I'm like, please, I will ask you
Right.
if I don't understand what that
Right.
means. But I mean,
Yeah.
I take it very lightheartedly because I think that's how we grow up. It's like people just don't know what we are.
No, yeah.
It's just like you look,
I mean, I
you
don't
know.
I mean, okay, back then
Mm.
we had like in the town that we lived in, it's like what, 5 international schools?
Yeah.
It's not a very common thing that people like Thai people go into international school.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very uncommon.
Yes.
But nowadays,
Everybody goes.
it's left and right.
I
Like,
know.
oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so many international schools.
Like honestly, because I teach
Mm.
and most of my students are from like international schools.
Oh, really?
And even like nowadays, Thai students that go to Thai school, their English, it's like our English.
Yes.
I was like so
Yes.
confused.
Yes. Let's get into this too.
So I'm a teacher. I teach ballet,
Mm.
and I have students from many schools come to learn
Learn.
with me, and I see nowadays like students are going to international school left and right,
Right.
and I know that a lot of Thai students nowadays like they know English like our English. They know it really well,
Right.
and honestly, I feel like it's because of like social media,
Mm.
like TikTok and
Yeah, the influence.
Instagram,
Yeah.
and everything.
Somebody at my church the other day, like one of the kids, he's Thai, goes to Thai school,
Right.
but he was speaking in English
Right.
with like another kid who was going to an international school, like fluently.
Mm.
And I was so confused. I was like, how is that possible? And they're like, he just picked it up.
Right.
Like he was just able to pick it up from like what he's watching, what his parents are
Right,
like
right.
doing. And I was just like, I think somebody told me that children these days in like Thai kids these days have so much more like American influence, like English
Yes,
influence from the things that
yes.
they watch and like
Yes.
stuff that they do, that it's already mixed with the way they talk. So like somebody told me the other day, said these days if you ask them like what ani si alai, they'll be like yellow.
Yeah, but with a Thai accent sometimes.
Oh, with Thai accent.
Yeah.
Okay, but like they wouldn't just say yellow instead of สีเหลือง
Hmm.
which I think is like, oh,
I feel like our culture is really shifting in
Mm.
terms of like kids and like how parents teach kids. Because like let's be honest, most parents nowadays are becoming our age. As in,
oh
like,
man,
our friends are having kids and they are becoming parents, and it's so normal that we take, I this is a problem that I have with just people in general,
okay,
where
people in general.
I mean, I feel like this is general belief, but
Uh-huh.
when you see something that your parents are like and you don't like, you're like, you swear to yourself you're not going to be like that.
Yes.
But here's the thing. I want to suggest something else.
Okay.
Think of a pendulum, yeah?
Yeah.
If we swing from one side to the other, and that has been the trend of
Yeah.
the past 10, 20 years
Yeah.
or even more. Our parents' generation, they work really hard. Like, they don't really care about dreams and aspirations. Like, they need to work hard because they haven't had good stuff before.
Like they need stability.
Exactly. So
Yes.
stability is very important to them.
Right.
And I'm not saying that like they want like money and money, money.
No.
But it has to be stability, not just financially, but like emotionally, other things, spiritually as well. So when we see that, we're like, oh, they don't care about hopes and dreams. So we swing all the way to the other side
I can see
where we like, I don't care how much money I make. I just want to do
whatever I want to do.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like the next generation is going to swing to the other side.
Back.
But what if like we see our parents know how to work hard. And I feel like we should take whatever the positive things they have and continue with that.
Yeah.
And maybe things that they miss along the way to pick it back up again.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Or else
Like there's a balance between
Exactly.
it. Don't swing from one extreme to the
right.
other extreme.
And just because like the older generations thinks differently than us, it doesn't mean it's all bad.
Right.
That's why I'm not okay with like, I don't know if you were like you knew about this trend where kids start saying like, okay boomer. Do you know that?
Nope.
Oh, so basically
And that's why I'm not in any of the
exactly. So
culture.
I'm like, I feel like it's a trend.
Okay.
And
What's the point of it? Like
so basically like, when older generations do something stupid and they're like, okay boomer, like it's like insulting a little bit. And I'm like, hey, like just because they think differently than you doesn't mean.
And if you really look at it, like you said, what did they not have that made them like this? Because if you don't
Exactly.
understand the context of it,
100%.
you're gonna automatically assume that's so stupid. Like, why would you do that? Stuff like that. But if you really think about it, it's like, yeah, they didn't have stability. They didn't have the freedom to like hope or have dreams.
Right.
Some people just like
They don't have that opportunity at all. Yeah.
I just need a job that pays so that I
Right.
can feed my kids.
yeah.
And then but now these days it changed because it's like you could do freelance work and make more than like a 9 to 5 type of job.
Right.
And that would be okay because that's like the society now accepts that. Or like
Right.
you're making more.
Right.
And the instability of those kind of jobs is not as scary anymore because we got the stability from our
Right.
parents
Right.
who didn't have, then gave that to
Yeah.
us. I could see that.
Yeah. I realized like the whole freelance thing, how it's more accepted now is because do you file your tax last tax year?
Yes.
Okay. You know how I don't know if you know, but like there's a section where you can file tax as a freelancer.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, and I'm like, because that's what I did. Yeah,
Uh-uh.
because I don't do one job.
Yeah.
Like I do multiple things.
Yes.
And
Very confusing for me. Tax
Yeah.
season.
Same.
Very confusing,
same.
I will say.
I think that's a equal thing. It's a collective experience.
Okay, okay.
Where everywhere is the same.
Okay. Everywhere has this experience.
Yeah, it was very confusing for me too.
I had to get help. Not only was
Also, why didn't they teach us
this in
how to file tax in
Right.
school?
I mean, I didn't even know how to read it. Like some of those words, I was like, I don't even
It's
know what
hard
this means.
even for me. And
Yeah.
okay, so basically if I work with Thai people,
Yep.
my Thai got better.
Okay.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I know what
Yeah.
you mean. I know what you
And
mean.
you know how to like write emails. We talked about this.
Yes.
Why do I have to say จึกโปรดจึงเรียนมาให้เพื่อทราบ
เพื่อทราบ
something like that, something
yes,
like that?
yes, yes.
And I'm like, why
Yeah.
do I have to tell them to so you can be informed? But I'm like, okay, I
The
understand.
purpose of the email is to inform you. So why are we saying it again to inform
But I
you?
think that's like a formal thing.
Yes, you
in
just have to
emails.
do it.
Because you know how you have to like have an ending to emails?
Yes.
Warm regards,
Yes.
best, whatever. You don't use that in daily life.
No.
Imagine I walk out the door and like,
Best.
butter. Best. Call
Best.
me Amy.
Best, Amy.
That'd be so awkward. But I'm like, I totally understand. Like,
Yeah.
The
It's a different
whole-
language.
you
It's like
know,
a written language.
right. And like in a government like building and stuff, in Thailand you have to dress properly.
To go to the voting site.
Right. And not just that.
Oh, government
like,
property, like the DMV and stuff like that.
everything.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
just wear shorts
Whatever
and
you want.
spaghetti straps.
Yes,
like
yes,
that's
yes. That's
you know,
disrespectful to the place.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and I love that they teach, like, culturally, they kind of like tame
Integrated.
you towards like being respectful, not to a person, but also to a place.
Mm.
And I feel like that's very important.
I think that's really cool
Yeah.
too. I mean, even during like the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
the COVID, I feel like Thai people as a whole, like the perspective is just so ingrained in us to look at the collective whole instead of at the
Yes.
individual,
Yes.
my
Yes.
needs or like my wants and what I believe is best
Right.
for me. Instead, we
Right.
believe like what's best for all.
Right.
And I feel like despite there might be like some differences in opinions and stuff like that, but we try really hard as a country to keep other people safe, and so we wear masks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, girl, I had
Yeah.
this conversation with like some of my like other friends,
Mm.
and they were so surprised. The foundation of our country is not the same
Yeah.
because we are taught to, or not even in cookie cutter mode, but like, we wear masks so we can protect other people,
Yes.
not ourselves.
Yes. Like as a country, I could totally see the difference, right? Like I look at it like when I talk to my friends in America and they're like, "Oh, we don't wear masks anymore." And I'm just like, because like, some people leave it, some people don't
Within
believe it.
like 6 months.
Yeah. I was like, "Oh, already?"
Yeah,
And
because I was in the States the whole time COVID.
oh, it happened?
Yeah.
Oh, right. And so I was like talking to them and they're like, "Yeah, some people don't wear anymore. It's just like not really a big deal anymore here."
Mhm.
And to me, it was just like, that's cultural values for America,
That's right.
right? And they value like independence, like my free will.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna do what I want to do. And though I don't think it's like a bad or good thing, it's
Yeah.
just it's different.
Right.
And so then when I look at in Thailand, I would realize, oh, ours is not like that. We'll be wearing for the next 2 years.
Some people still wear it nowadays.
I mean,
it's
I think that's
2024.
And I think it's part of the culture of just
Right.
like if I'm sick, I will wear a mask to protect you.
Yeah, exactly. Not to
Right?
protect myself.
Not just even not just even the
Yeah.
pandemic, but it's just like I'm not doing well. I'm not gonna spread that to you, so I'm gonna do my part to keep
Yeah.
you safe too.
It's like our responsibility to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think it's like that's also a different view of
Mhm.
like how we do things, and I don't think either one is like necessarily like good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just
It's
the
just
values
different.
the values
Exactly.
we were like grown
Yeah.
up with. Like I couldn't imagine like I don't know like not wearing a mask because we're here
During COVID, you mean?
during COVID because
It's
we're
just
here.
a sign of respect. And
So, yeah.
I know there's a whole thing where like, there are some places like you you can't even go in if you don't wear a mask.
Exactly.
But then here it's like it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
like-
you just wear it.
You just wear it.
Just
If you-
do it.
especially if you go into like an enclosed space.
Yeah.
Like you just know to protect like not just yourself, you're protecting other people. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
I think that was very clear when it was the pandemic.
It doesn't even have to be communicated, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part of like is protecting other people.
Yes.
But
And that's what I thought
Yeah.
that's what I thought was so interesting about Thailand. It was like you don't need to tell people these things. It just happened.
right.
And I was like, this is really interesting to me.
Mhm.
Like you don't need to force anybody to.
Yeah.
It just happened.
It just happens.
yeah. I think that's really cool about Thailand. I was just
Yeah.
like, it's for the greater good.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting.
Yeah. So we talk a lot. We talk a lot today.
We talked a lot today
Yeah,
about many different topics.
that's true.
Mhm.
And honestly, I just feel like if this podcast helps anybody relate
Mhm.
or just go through some moments of your life, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, like we could connect.
Yeah,
Like you can connect with us.
that's
The
true.
things that we go through. Some of
Yeah.
them funny, some of them are a little deeper, but
Right.
just connection.
Yeah, I just feel like we want to bridge the gap of that
Yeah.
some people that feel you're in as a third culture kid,
Yeah.
you're in your own country but you're not in your own culture.
That's
to
a different
actually-
level of third culture kid.
Right.
Yeah.
To just I don't know how to explain this, but to actually know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it comes
Yeah.
down to that. I think for a while we thought like we were the only ones that thought like this or did like this or experienced this.
Yeah.
But now I think there's actually more of us.
Right.
But we didn't
Yeah.
find each other. Like we
Yeah.
haven't found each other. So
So just be kind to yourself. You're just going through things.
yes.
Yeah. just another day.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll see you in the next podcast. We're excited. How it's gonna turn out.
Yeah, how's this gonna turn out? Because we're so random. We talk a lot of different topics, but
yeah.
Next time we'll probably have other interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, I think in the future we would love to like take questions in and like people in.
Yes.
That would be so fun.
Have guests.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. That
All
sounds
right.
good. Bye.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.